Hello, welcome to the Small Steps Daily Show. I am your host, Nurse Kristen. And in this show, I talk about evidence based steps for making changes that stick in 3 to 5 minutes or less. We've all made short term changes in our health before, but how do we get those changes to last longer? And that is what this show is all about. When you start out with making new changes, do you start small or do you go all in? Do you take that all or nothing approach? Today, I'm going to talk about the benefits of starting small if your goal is to make a lasting lifestyle change. The latest science on behavior change tells us that if we want to create changes that stick, then we need to start small. An example of this would be for years, I wanted to make meditation a part of my daily routine. I had heard people talk about the health benefits of 15 to 20 minutes of meditation per day. But starting out with that length of time did not work for me until I decided to start small. So what I did was I started to incorporate 5 to 8 minutes of meditation most days. And by starting out small, I was able to make this stick. And then from there, I was gradually able to build upon that length of time until I reached the 15 or 20 minutes. Another example is there's a behavior change scientist at Stanford University, and his name is BJ Fogg. And he tells this story about how he turned flossing his teeth into a daily habit by starting with one tooth. He started small. He started flossing just that one tooth. And one tooth takes little effort, little time, little motivation, and really little willpower. After finishing the one tooth, he found that he naturally wanted to do another tooth and then another. And after a month, he was flossing his teeth twice a day. Making changes isn't easy. And there have been decades of research that has gone into discovering how people become successful with making changes that stick. And what research has shown us is that if we want our changes to be lasting ones, they should require little mental effort, little physical effort, and little willpower. The easier the change and the smaller the step you have to take, the more likely you are to complete that step. Your motivation is going to go up and down. There's going to be some days where you feel like keeping up with your new routine, and then there's going to be other days where you feel like you just want to quit. And that's just how it is. Our level of motivation does not stay constant. The smaller the steps we take, the less motivation that is required. So here's an example of some steps that you could take to make habits stick. Maybe you want to start eating more healthy. A small step you could take would be to focus on one meal at a time. You could just really focus on a healthy breakfast. You can get confident in creating a routine with that one meal and then add more healthy meals after that. Maybe you've been wanting to make changes to your level of stress and anxiety. So one thing that you could focus on doing would be incorporating a few deep breaths into your day. And one step you could take to do that would be to start breathing for 1 minute in your car before you go into work. Maybe you have a hard time turning off your devices and going to sleep at night. One step that you could take to help with that would be to turn on the grayscale on your phone. Doing this, it makes the screen easier on your eyes, and it also removes the color. And by removing the color, we're less likely to sit there and scroll through our social media while we're laying in bed at night. And then there's exercise. And exercise can be such a tricky one for people, finding time to squeeze in that workout during the day. Well, what if you put a dumbbell by your coffee pot? You could put a dumbbell right next to it, and then while your coffee's brewing, you could lift your weights. And this might seem really small, but that's the point. After time, it will become a habit that sticks, and you will gradually start to see change. Today's small step. The next time you want to work on making that healthy change stick, start small. Create a habit and routine and then build from there. Starting small requires little motivation and it builds confidence in your ability to successfully make changes that stick. Tune in to the next episode of Small Steps Daily for another small step to help you create healthy habits that stick. And to learn more about me, Nurse Kristen, and how I can help you create healthy habits that stick, check out my website, www.nursekristen.org, to learn more about my coaching and my services.